this is kind of, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's going on, but I feel like I have kind of liked it over this past week since Raw, that I feel like people are acknowledging everything that Becky Lynch has brought to professional wrestling and brought to women's wrestling. They're kind of being a little bit more reflective now that we know that she's going to be on a long leave. I think that people are kind of seeing things in hindsight. Of course, there's still the trolls out there that are like, Becky Hogan this, Becky Hogan that. But I think that it's just nice to see. I know I'm biased, but like, I think that it's one of those situations where people don't really realize how good they have it until that person's gone, and I don't anticipate Becky to be gone forever, but I think that people are going to kind of notice that there's going to be like a void a bit in wrestling or in WWE on Monday Night Raw without Becky Lynch being there. So it's nice to just see people kind of like giving her flowers, even if it's not as much as I feel like she deserves, because I think that I think she's severely underrated, because I think that, and we've talked about this before with the 4 Horsewomen, I think Becky and Bayley are the most underappreciated, underrated out of the 4 Horsewomen. It's always been about Charlotte, Sasha, Mercedes, whatever. It's always been about those two, and I'm not taking anything away from them, but there's a reason why it was the 4 Horsewomen and not the 2 Horsewomen. And I feel like they are almost becoming like the Janettis, and I just feel that's unfair, because if anything, you could say Becky and Bayley have done more or worked harder because of the fact that they knew that they weren't getting as much attention, as much credit, whatever, as the other two. And I feel like they deserve to be acknowledged for that, because it's not easy to have the start that they had. Or if we want to talk about, Becky, we've talked about this before. Becky coming out and doing the Irish jig. That's how she debuted.
Oh my God, like that is jobber status. And look at where she is now.
Or, look at how people don't look at this either. Bayley transitioning from Bayley Buddies side ponytail, I love everybody, I'm gonna hug you, to what she is now and everything that she's done in between. Like, that is incredible. That is not something that anybody can do. And I don't think that people acknowledge these types of things enough. You know what I mean? Especially like, how I feel about Charlotte. I don't think that Charlotte is a very good babyface, and that's something that people don't talk about. And it's like, yeah, because it really is a skill to be able to be 2 different people at any time that they need you to be, and to be good at it whenever you have to be either one. You know what I'm saying?
You have to turn it on.
Yeah. And that was, we even talked about it with like MJF. Like, it made sense why he was this big, massive heel. And then they have this whole thing with Adam Cole. And it was like, yeah, because we needed to be able to see, can he be this lovable baby face that people will get behind? He killed it. Absolutely killed it. There's no doubt left in your mind now. You know what I mean? So Bayley did that too, even if all of her booking wasn't great. Like, she still pulled off being a heel for however many years. It was like basically since she stopped being the Bayley buddy girl to WrestleMania was when she was a heel. It's been years. So I don't mean to go off on a tangent about Bayley, but I just think Becky and Bayley are kind of like in the same boat, that I feel like people need to recognize what we have right now and how good the women's division is right now, especially because we have those 2 women in WWE. And we need to kind of like, I know that I do it, but we need to acknowledge the 4 Horsewomen more as a collective and individually. And we need to stop acting like so-and-so is so much better than the others. It's like they've all done their own thing. They've all had their own contributions, but we also can't ignore, I don't want to talk about what Becky does. I don't like Becky. I'm a big Charlotte fan. Well, we can't do that. Like, I can acknowledge what Charlotte does, and I'm not a Charlotte fan, but she's incredible. But like, I'm going to acknowledge, I tend to like the ones that people don't talk about a lot. So that's
You're an underdog gal.
I can be, yeah. So it's like, I love to, hype up Becky and Bayley if I can, and so it's kind of nice to just see that people are crediting Becky to a good amount, to a good degree this week. So I thought that was pretty cool.